Hi, I'm Liz Kovitz. Welcome to Hatha for Beginners. We're going to start on our backs. Find your way to your mat, laying on your back, leaving the outside world behind. Settling into a pose that provides you with ease and support. Feeling all points of contact on the mat. Now just take a moment to notice your breath as you settle into the mat. Noticing without judgment. Bend your knees and place your feet on the mat and let your knees fall in together. Now take one hand and place it on the lower part of your ribs. Take your other hand and place it on your low belly near the top of your hips. As you breathe, can you feel that breath filling up your belly? Can you feel the breath moving under your hands? Expand your belly and feel the breath as a circumference or within your belly, filling it up on all sides, front and back and both sides. And as you exhale, melt into the mat. And from here you can extend your legs long. Keep your hands there or move them if you like. And just begin experimenting, tilting your pelvis back and forth, back and forth. And now let your pelvis rest. And breathe. The inhale creates room from front to back and side to side. Roll over to one side and bring yourself up to a tabletop position. In tabletop, you're going to find yourself with your hands under your shoulders, fingers spread wide and pressed into the mat, knees under hips, feet pressed down into the mat. Now take a moment here to feel the relationship between your ribs and your pelvis. Can you feel an alignment between them? Can you sense the rib cage without needing to make the spine rigid? We'll move from here to a few cat-cows. So drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your chin on your inhale. Feeling that same expansion in your belly as a circumference. Exhale, press away from the mat, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Again, inhale. Can you feel the breath traveling to your low back? Exhale to cat, press away. Can you feel the stiffness in your belly as you exhale, exhale? take a few more of these at your breath pace. You do not need to match my pace. Your body does not need to look like mine. This is an excellent wake up for your spine. The spine is the superhighway down which all of the messages from your brain travel. Just doing this a few times a day, you'll see benefits from this. Once you get to a point where you feel satisfied with your cat-cows, take some hip circles. Make this circles as big or as small as you'd like them to be. In fact, maybe play with the shape of your hip circles. See how it feels when it's a larger circle, and then see what happens when you shorten it a little bit. Getting the fluids pumping to your joints to keep you nice and lubricated throughout the practice. Now if you're going in a direction and you haven't yet, switch and go in the opposite direction. Explore here, have fun. It's not about how it looks, it's about you feeling your body and listening to your body. Take any other movements you'd like here, maybe looking over your shoulder, looking over your other shoulder. And then we're going to take the right hand, lift it high, and then we're going to thread it under our left arm, giving us beautiful space between our shoulder blades. Take the left hand and put it out long if you can, if that feels good, and just spend a couple of breaths here, allowing the breath to expand your abdomen. Now if it hurts, don't do it. Make any adjustments needed. Bringing your left hand back near your head, lift up to tabletop. Take a few cat-cows here. At your breath, oh, it feels so good. Now we're going to do the other side. Lift your left arm high and thread under your right arm. Lowering all the way down to your cheek. And take the right arm long if you'd like. And take some breaths here. Bringing your right hand back. Lift up, come back to tabletop. If you need a blanket under your knees, please take that. In fact, take whatever you need, but if this is too hard on your knees, put a blanket underneath. We'll take a couple more cat-cows here. Let's press back into child's pose, pushing our hips back to sit on our heels. Arms can be long, or if that's hard on your shoulders, bring your arms by your sides, or rest your head on your forearms. Now, if you, from here, explore how the breath feels in this pose. If you'd like to widen your knees, you can take that. Make adjustments in this pose if you find anything pinching or hurting or falling asleep. Make the adjustments that you need to. This is your practice. See if you can breathe into your armpits. Exhale and melt into your mat. On your next inhale, meet me back in tabletop. Take a few moments here. You might want to walk your hands a little wider and up a little away from your shoulders. We're going to tuck our toes and lift up into downward facing dog. Have any bend in your knee that helps you have length in your spine. You want your neck to be relaxed. Let your head hang. Press away from the mat, building space in your shoulders and your armpits. If you'd like to pedal out your feet, we'll stay here for a few breaths. Down dog is a resting pose, but it's also a strength building pose. If this is too much for you, you can always come down on your knees. If you'd like, you can put blocks under your hands. If you want to come down on your forearms, you can do that too. Two more of your breaths in downward dog. And after your second exhale, you're going to tiptoe your feet to the top of the mat for ragdoll. So from here, you want to hinge from the hip. Again, any bend in the knee that serves your low back. The more bend, the more low back you're going to get, more low back stretch. The more length, you're going to have more of a stretch back here. What we really want is for your upper body to hang over your lower body. Hold on to opposite elbows and enjoy this stretch. This stretch isn't just stretching you, it's inviting all of those lubricating fluids into your hips. Very, very precious lubrication. I'm going to face you so you can see what we're about to do. On your next inhale, you're going to halfway lift. So halfway lift, rotate your arms out like airplane arms and get length in your spine. See if you can point the crown of your head to that opposite wall. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold on your exhale. And now we're going to inhale all the way up to extended mountain. At the top, maybe get on your tippy toes as you praise the sun for the sun salutation. And then on your exhale, you're going to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Extended mountain. Exhale, fold. Now we're moving for one breath, one movement, but it's at your breath pace. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to extended mountain. And this time we're going to take a seat in chair. First chair, best chair. Now in chair, you want to feel solid grounding in your feet. See if you can feel all four corners of the foot on the ground. And then imagine you're trying to pull the mat apart with your feet in opposite directions. When you do that, you should feel a nice activation down the back of your leg. And then lifting your arms, allowing the shoulders to come up by the ears. We'll take 3 breaths here. Choose steadiness here. The size of the movement doesn't matter. See if you can direct your breath to expand the torso while your legs are activated. Now on your exhale, we're gonna lower our hands to the mat. Step back into a plank. And then from here, we're gonna lower our knees, lower our belly, keeping our elbows in, lower our chest. And then we're gonna lift up into a crow. We're doing a mild back bend here. Take as much as you need, leave what doesn't work, and exhale as you lower down. We're gonna inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. We're gonna do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale and lower. We're going to lift back up into tabletop, pressing back up into downward dog, stepping forward into forward fold, and then we'll lift up to mountain. Bringing your hands to your side in mountain, we'll take a moment to set up mountain properly. So as always, feel your hips, make sure you feel stability there, and then start at the feet. How do your feet feel planted on the ground? Sometimes it helps to take your foot and plant it on the ground. I like to do that, it helps me feel grounded. Once you get the feet planted and you can feel the toe mounds, the heels, then imagine you're tightening with your legs, just a slight, and you'll feel a similar activation throughout your legs. When you feel that activation, you're creating a sturdy base for this beautiful mountain. Now coming on up to your hips, you're going to want to make sure that your sacrum is pointed down to the floor. That requires a slight pelvic tilt to maintain a certain equanimity between your ribs and your pelvis. You want to have a neutral spine. As you follow that neutral spine up, imagine rolling your shoulders back and down, tuck your chin back just a little tiny bit. Imagine the crown of your head shining up to the sky. And just take a moment here to really appreciate this very powerful pose. Let the breathing happen on its own for just a moment. Exhale and feel a firmness supporting the core here. From here, we're going to take a step back with our left foot into a low lunge. You can have hands on knees, or if you prefer, you can have your blocks. Have hands on a block. Whatever works best for you. But in low lunge, your foot is firmly planted into the ground, both feet. The top of your back foot is pressing down, and you feel a power here. You want to check your rib to pelvis alignment from here, and making sure that you have pelvis or ribs stacked over pelvis. And then when you're ready, let's just take a little lean back into half split. Inhale up to lunge, raising your arms overhead. Exhale, half split. Inhale up to low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale back up to low lunge. From here, we're going to tuck the back toes on an inhale, and we're going to rise up to Warrior One. Now in Warrior One, your front foot and your back foot can be any distance apart in either direction, but the more distance you have this way, the more stability. Your back foot is going to be rotated at slightly a 45-degree angle, and your hips are going to be mostly pointed forward, but each body is different. So as you align your hips, listen to your body. If it's too much, give a little. Now here you want firm activation in your glute, and you'll feel that because your hip flexor will suddenly pop up and say hello. Then you're going to bend into your front knee. And once you're here and you feel that stability from the ground up, remembering that rib to pelvis alignment, raise your arms. we're gonna take our arms behind us, interlace fingers, and pull down, keeping your palms, best effort to keep your palms together, to feel a nice stretch across the top, chest, shoulders. And then it's a humble warrior. So if you're so inclined in humble warrior, what we do from here is lean forward, hands to the mat, step forward, fold, inhale up to mountain, and now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Stepping back into a low lunge. Again, if you need the blanket, use it. Hands on your knees, pressing down with both feet so you feel the power. You should feel feet pressing down and tension here in the middle of your body as everything's working together. And then we're going to go and do those same half splits. So lean back for half split, lift up for low lunge. Exhale to half split. Inhale to low lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, back up to low lunge. Now from here, you're going to tuck your toes. Use an inhale to give you the power to lift and set up for warrior one. So this time your back foot is your right foot. It's at a 45-degree angle. Your hips are mostly square. You'll bend into your front foot without letting the knees go past the toes. Feel that nice tension in your back leg. Feel both feet pressing in and working together. If you do that slight pull apart again, you're going to feel the center power. And from here, you raise your arms. Take 3 more of your breaths and think about how your breath is traveling through your core. Imagine that there's a zipper in between your ribs and your pelvis, and it's gently being zipped up. Do you feel that difference? That's the core engagement we're looking for that maintains stability to make it safer for you to try all of these poses with all of the body, parts of the body that we don't use very often in our daily life. After you've come to your last breath, we're just going to plant our hands on the mat. I'm going to take a step back to down dog. Taking it 3 or 4 breaths here in down dog. Do you feel warmed up? Okay. So from here, after you've taken your 4 breaths and you feel complete, on your last exhale, I want you to exhale completely, get it all out. And then step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. You're going to inhale halfway lift. Inhale halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back to down dog. And on your next exhale, you're going to step your right foot in between your hands. We're going to stand up into a warrior 2. Now in warrior 2, your back foot is parallel with the back of the mat, and your front foot bisects your back foot. Your hips are pointed to the side. Here, I'll do this side first. Your hips are pointed to the side where they feel best. You want to feel a sense of stability. You don't want to feel pain. This is not about overexpression. This is about how do you feel in your body. Kind of feel that gentle tug away with your feet and press on the outer edge of your back foot. You'll feel more stability. When you're ready, your front bent knee, you want it to be kind of towards your pinky toe. Extend your arms long, reaching away from over each other, and gaze over your middle finger. Remembering again, you want to feel like there's suspenders here between your hips and your ribs. From here, we're going to straighten the knee and bend straighten the knee, bend the knee. We're just feeling it out, getting a feel for how the difference between the bent knee and the straight knee, so that you can understand this pose better and better. Now after doing that 3 times, you're gonna reverse your warrior. So lift your front arm up and over, get a nice stretch right here in the side body. And then exhale, we're gonna come into a side angle. In a side angle, you rest your elbow on your front knee. You're not placing all the weight there, but you are using it for leverage, and you raise the other arm up high. You want your hips to rotate out a bit. Side angle. On an exhale, rise back up into warrior 2. Take 2 breaths. And on your second exhale, reverse your warrior again. This time we're going to straighten the front leg, take our arms out to a T, tick-tock forward just a little bit, and then reach down. We're going to do a triangle pose. So in triangle, imagine you're trying to flatten your body in between 2 panes of glass. Can you keep that same tension in your core container to provide support for holding this pose? After your next exhale, point all 10 toes toward the same side of your mat. We're going to take a wide leg forward fold. Plant your right hand and twist up to the left. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Plant your left hand, lift your right. Hands on hips, lift up with a flat back. We're going to take a step forward into mountain. Hands on the mat, step back into downward facing dog. Take 2 level setting breaths here. And then we're going to do that all on the other side. So opposite foot, step forward in between your hands, lift up and find your beautiful warrior 2. Let's bend and straighten that leg. Straighten it and bend it. Is your knee, can you see your big toe? Straighten it. How do the hips move when we straighten? What changes when we bend back down? Can you go deeper? Reverse your warrior. And on your next exhale, side angle. Pressing in the back foot, pressing in the front foot, outer edge of the back foot will help with stability. Take breaks whenever you need to. Child's pose is always available. Remember, it's about how you feel in your body. You don't have to look like I do. Warrior 2. Reverse. Straighten the front leg, straighten the arms out to the side, tick-tock a bit, and then back to that triangle pose that we love so much. Point all 10 toes towards the side of the mat. We're going to do a wide leg forward fold. Let the head hang, let it dangle. Now here, you can try some Skandasanas. So just some low lunges to either side. Just make sure both sides are even. And from here, we can just step out of the pose. Now from here, we're going to move into the balancing phase of the program. So you want to make sure both your feet are planted quite nicely, about hips width distance, whatever's most comfortable for you, not too far out from hips width. And then you're going to place all of your weight into your left foot. Now switch it up and place all of your weight into your right foot. Now come back to center, remembering your pelvic to rib alignment, remembering to breathe all the way through the container. That means your belly's gonna pooch out a little bit more than you're used to in breathing, but you are gonna get that good oxygen all the way down. Placing all of your weight in the left leg, take the right knee and just lift it in front of you. If you need to or want to put a hand out for balance, feel free. Now imagine this is a dance with gravity. It's not a test. You're just seeing if you can find the balance, and then seeing if you can find the balance again. If you're so inclined, you can open up your gait to the right to challenge yourself a little bit. If you want even more of a challenge, you can look out over your left fingertips, which I don't want. Bringing the knee back into center, you can lower the foot. Next, we're gonna move into tree pose. Tree pose can be kickstand at the ankle, on the calf, or on the thigh, just not on the knee. And what you want to sense is stability in your base foot, and you want to press into your foot with your thigh and your thigh with your foot or your ankle or the calf. Now from here, notice how the foot, ankle, eyes, and breath are all coordinating. Hands to heart center if you'd like. I find like just when I get tree right is when it's time to come out of the pose. But stay here for a couple more breaths. Thinking about your core container, thinking about your chin and your neck, your shoulders. Thinking about how your body is working in concert right now to stay balanced, and how that balance is bringing everything to tighten around the center, your beautiful spine. Step out of that, shake anything that you need to. From here, we're gonna move into eagle. In eagle pose, we take the right leg and wrap it over the top of the left leg. The idea is to squeeze into the center. To make this pose happen, you can leave your left foot on the ground for a kickstand. You can place a block there if you want to get a little more height. And from here, it's right leg over, right leg, right arm under for eagle arms. Now, if eagle arms is not something that's accessible to you, you can keep your arms at your side. You can come to heart center, or you can lift your elbows up to shoulder level. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And release. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So find your solid base here. Resting all of your weight into your right foot. We're going to start with the front leg raise, or knee raise. So lifting your left knee. Remembering to find your zipper. And open to the left if you're so inclined, or stay where you are, or take a break. But remembering your breath will help you here. What happens if you pull back your effort just a little bit? What changes in you? And release. And now tree pose on the other side. Both sides are not the same. So if on the other side you were able to get up on your thigh, and on this side you can only do the kickstand, that's perfect. Do that. Do what your body asks for. You're getting a benefit regardless. So we'll lift for tree. And stay here, being curious about the experience. No judgment. Do your best. Take a break. Practice in private. Be here for 3 more breaths. And release. Last but not least, eagle. So in eagle, remember we're gonna wrap the left leg over, left arm under. Squeeze in tight in the middle, keeping your core container and your rib to pelvis relationship quality. Stay here for 3 breaths. Or the best you can do. And when you're done, just shake it out. Okay, from here, we're going to find yourself on your back, however you can get there. And we're gonna do a supine tabletop or upside down tabletop. Bring your knees and arms into the air. Now, see if you can play with your pelvis placement a little bit. Create a lot of space between the ground and your back. And then the opposite, see if you can press your lower back into the floor so that there's contact. This is the quality we want to maintain throughout this portion of the program. So from here, you're just gonna lower your heels and tap. And while doing that, you want to keep your low back on the ground. We're working with a minute amount of space, but the benefit is incredible. So we're going to do 5 taps on each side, or whatever makes you feel complete. Check in with your back. Are you making full contact? If you sense arching, don't lower all the way to the floor. Just until you reach that point where you can't maintain the contact with the floor. And once you've achieved your 5th one, lower your feet, lower your hands. Take any movements you need right now. Maybe some windshield wipers would feel good. Maybe knees to chest. Move into bridge. For bridge pose, you want your heels to be close to your glutes. You want your fingertips to almost reach your heels. Your feet and hips are in line. And then you press up through all 3 corners of your feet, pressing high into the air. You want to make sure your toe mounds are pressing into the ground. And that may mean you bring your knees a little bit closer together. From here, we're going to lift and lower. Lift, press, lower. Lift and lower. We're going to lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Lower all the way down. You're going to take your right leg now. Cross it over your left knee, and then holding on to your thigh, pull your legs in towards you for A nice stretch. Now you can release the breathing. Plant your left foot and let your right foot fall over to the side, arms out to a T. If you need a block here to help support you, use that. Best effort to keep both shoulder blades on the ground. Look over your right shoulder. Just get a nice psoas T-band stretch. Inhale and bring your feet back to center, planting your right foot down, lifting your left ankle and resting on your right knee. Pull in shins or thigh for a nice stretch. You can lift your head off the mat if you'd like. Lowering your foot down, taking your arms out to a T, let your left foot fall over to the ground. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. Look over to the left if you'd like. I always feel this stretch really good right here. I have an old injury, and this stretch is beautiful. I think I inadvertently take longer on this side than the other side because of that. So to keep me honest, let's go ahead. Bring it back to center. Plant both your feet on the mat. And now we're gonna let the knees fall over to the left. Inhale up through center and exhale, knees down to the right. Inhale the knees back to center. Bring your knees into the chest. Take your peace fingers, grab your big toes, happy baby, pulling your knees in towards your armpits while doing your best effort to keep your low back on the floor. This is a great hip opener and a great inversion. Rock side to side if you'd like to get a little massage in your low back. My sister-in-law likes to say any place is a good place for a happy baby. Take any final movements that you need. As you come into your final resting pose for Shavasana. Palms up if you want to be open and receiving the energy in the room. Palms down if you feel like you're in more need of grounding or in any other position. Butterfly pose if you'd like, if that feels good for you. Take a big deep breath in, feeling all the way up, and then high it all the way out. Let your breath return to normal. Shavasana. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Bring some movement, small movements back to your body. Take a moment to take stock. Scan head, shoulders, chest, belly, hips, thighs, calves, feet. Notice any changes from when you started the class. Take a minute to roll over to one side. And here I'd like to take a moment to think of one thing that you're grateful for. Press yourself up into a seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center. We'll take one breath in together. Arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. The divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste. Thank you.